went cold legend, Mr. Ike Dog. We from the city of the smoke, but we don't come. We steady rolling slow and something classic just to show off. Ooh, when it's cold like Olaf. All you other rappers act hard, but we know you so soft. When you try to get some sleep and you doze off, we hit the streets and we go mob. You can see the flames coming from these halls, bringing something different to the game. We under the city lights and we're switching in the lanes. You're still on your kitty bike, man, you're such a lame. You remain the same while we go against the grain. That's where we increase the speed limit. Mobbing in that horsepower with someone like Seed. That's it, man, you're such a gimmick. And me, you try to mimic. While I'm rocking mighty town pitted, I'm so ambitious. Why when I put the key in the ignition? Rolling over the competition with my driven vision. Got full control of my path, I'm moving gripping. This is an addiction. Why you can't pass emissions? Cause you say in same position by blowing the transmission with the missing in your shifting. The way I make the competition disappear, I should be a magician. Don't run against I-Dog and man was chopper was a bad decision.
KBLP LLC. Check us out on iHeart, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, with the best podcasters in the business. Denise Harris, Chris Stevens, Michelle Auger, Ike Diaz, Desiree Pickett, Anissa Nicole, Cecilia Flores, Lolita Diaz. Sponsored by TBs303.com. We are also looking for new podcasters. Inbox any of our podcasters or me, Ike Diaz, directly on Facebook, and someone will get back with you ASAP. KBLP LLC. Check us out on iHeart, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, with the best podcasters in the business. Denise Harris, Chris Stevens, Michelle Auger, Ike Diaz, Desiree Pickett, Anissa Nicole, Cecilia Flores, Lolita Diaz. Sponsored by TBs303.com. We are also looking for new podcasters. Inbox any of our podcasters or me, Ike Diaz, directly on Facebook, and someone will get back with you ASAP.
You're listening to The Jam with Ike Dog.
You can actually catch The Jam live every Saturday night with Ike Diaz. It goes down. Make sure you tune in and check it out. There's so many episodes. There's so many podcasts of The Jam. So make sure you go back and check it out. Tonight we got sports. We usually go on Monday. Then we had a delay on Monday. It's the holiday week, so we had to make some changes. Chained went on tonight. Usually it's on Thursday, but it's for the holiday. Chain went on Tuesday. So all you listeners who listen to Chain, and I know it's a lot of you guys, make sure you tune in to Chain. And it's off for the next week. So it's on the 4th episode, so it gives you a chance to catch up on Chain. But tonight's sports with Ike Diaz, Denise Harris. Hopefully she'll be calling in here pretty soon. Hopefully I can get her on the line. We were supposed to go on after Chain. I got home late, and then when I did try to get a hold of her, I couldn't get a hold of her. But I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick sports with you guys and knock out the sports. The Broncos finally pulled a victory together and on the foot of McManus with 3 seconds left in the game. Pretty exciting, saving Coach Vance Joseph's job one more week. I know I had like 30, 40 people in the comments because I kept saying Vance Johnson. I was thinking of the Three Amigos last week. So I kept saying Vance Johnson, and I would watch the Three Amigos that day. I had watched the Three Amigos documentary about Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, Ricky Natil. So that whole day, instead of saying Vance Joseph, I was saying Vance Johnson. If you look at the comments, you'll see a bunch of people were kind of making fun of me a little bit. But hey, it was fun. So we're on sports. I got just a couple quick announcements that I always like to throw out there. These are to help out you and everybody else. Everybody knows I use reverse osmosis water. If you can, get you a filter. If you can't get the filter, try to get you a try to buy the bottled water at King Soopers. They sell reverse osmosis water, and that's the Kroger brand. So make sure if you're in Colorado, if you're in, any other place, if you go into a Kroger, you can get the reverse osmosis. You also want, and what I'm saying here with the reverse osmosis is it takes out the fluoride. So you do not want the fluoride in your water when you're drinking it. It is not good for your health. Okay, so my other one I always do, and we haven't done for a while, is Tom's of Maine. Tom's non-fluoride toothpaste. I use the peppermint brand. I use it daily, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. I use it. So make sure that you use that. It's a non-fluoride toothpaste. You guys gotta I know I'm talking sports tonight, but if you think about it, if the government says a pea size, like a pea, that you eat your peas, is bad for your health, then what are you doing putting fluoride into your body at all? So make sure, that's why I try to get everybody to stay. I've been on this mission for I've been podcasting for years now, and I do this. Tom's doesn't pay me. The water company doesn't pay me to do this. I do it on my own because I want to make sure that everybody's giving their kids the right water. I have to fight with my kids to get them to use the toothpaste as much as possible because they're still into the Colgate and Crest and stuff like that, like I was when I was a kid. But it was a wild weekend of sports. It was the Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West is back. Wild weekend of sports. The Broncos are only 2 games out of a wild card spot with 6 games left in the season, and I have really high hopes for the Broncos to get into the playoffs. I'm gonna be satisfied with the Broncos getting into the playoffs. You got to remember they had a 5-11 season last year and a 9-7 season the year before with Trevor Siemian at quarterback, and all they had to do was make a quarterback switch, and we were going to have a better record. But they just didn't want to go that route. They just didn't want to take that thing. And Case Keenum, he's not great, but he's doing okay. We got a victory yesterday on the foot of McManus at the last, like I said, 3 seconds of the game. He had missed a field goal early in the game. He swiped one left or something like that. I have to go back and I was gonna go over. I was looking for that because I know something. But as far as the games and everything, man, it was the Wild West. So Denise, if you're out there, shout out to Denise. Hopefully I get her on here and we get her podcasting with us like she always does, because she is so awesome. And she does so many podcasts, and it's so fun to work with her because she when I first started podcasting, I could do any podcast. People used to ask me, how do you do TWD for 4 hours, then turn around and do sports for 4 hours? And I'm like, I just like to do it. I don't do it no more. I don't want to burn myself out, but that's kind of how I used to do it, and it's pretty fun. Oh, I was running the wrong one there. The commercial was playing, and what I'm getting back to is that I used to run those podcasts like that back to back, and people would ask me, well, heck, how do you do that? I'd get tons of questions on how I'd get that done. I also want to one more thing I want to do before we get any further is I want to give out a shout out to the Flat Earth Conference. It's their 2nd annual event. It was here in Colorado for my birthday. They were here. My birthday was Wednesday, November 14th. Everybody knows. They were here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it went awesome. There's I'm gonna do another broadcast later tonight if I feel a little better. Paul Logan, who kind of, I guess he has 50 million followers on YouTube. I kind of don't know who he is because I'm not into that. I'm not up to date on that kind of stuff. If it's not sports or it's not old school or it's not things that I really didn't know who he was. My daughter's familiar with him. So, he officially came out and said that he was crossing over into the flat earth world, that he was becoming a flat earther. And then the reason that I was going to bring it up is because he said he had mentioned something similar to my situation, because I had recently re-signed with a company that I had been working with, and now because of all the flat earth stuff, they want to go back on some issues, and we might have to do some. We might have to see some court and things like that, because there was an advancements made and things of that nature, and the thing was supposed to help out KBLP LLC. I was gonna do the work from my music business for the Ike Dog brand, and I was gonna put the money into our podcasting company, and now I'm having a little bit of trouble with that, but when we get it worked out, it's no big deal, I don't think. Plus, I have other companies that want to work with me right now, especially companies that know that that I'm involved in the flat Earth community now. I'm a part of the flat Earth family. I know it's kind of weird to say. People trip out like. And like right now, I bet you I have listeners going, this is sports night, dude. You're not supposed to be talking about flat earth, man. So I understand. So I'm going to move on from that. Just want to give a shout out to the Paul Logan, who has 50 million followers, who I'm going to check out my podcast on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about it. The only reason I'm talking about it is because there's a similar situation that he's going through, that he's going to end up going through, that I've already went through. No, I don't have 50 million followers. I got a couple thousand followers, but not no 50 million. But we'll work from there. So real quick, I'm going to go into the score. I like to go into the scores right away. I think I have a couple trivia. I haven't done my trivia questions. I usually do my trivia. And my trivia questions, and usually gets me rocking and rolling, because I had some good trivia. I always have some good trivia for you guys. Hardly anybody ever gets me on trivia, but I did a podcast with one of Desiree's business partners, and he pulled one out on me on the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna use that tonight real quick and on my trivia, and because it was a good one, because I was actually watching part of it this week, and I was like, that's pretty cool, and he got me on it. He really did, because I really didn't know. I thought it was somebody else, but I'm gonna do that trivia question for you guys. It's a Bronco trivia question. Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl 33. The Atlanta Falcons, Denver Broncos, and I'll be announcing that here in just a second. I'm sharing this real quick. I got inboxes. People are trying to say they're trying to get a hold of me. Well, I'm available. I'm always available. I'm Ike Dog. I'm Ike Diaz. You never heard of me? I'm available. Shout out to Chris Stevens, the freak. On Friday, I was going to run through that as best I can. I'm going to give you the podcast schedule the best I can, because it's a holiday, and the holidays, and we have several podcasts on. So Chris Stevens with the Freaks in the Basement on Fridays, the Freak. Make sure you check him out. He is awesome. He is one of the best. He has great stories that he tells, and he plays great music. So make sure you check out his podcast. You'll really enjoy it. You'll really have a great time. Everybody I talk to, they love his podcast. Like everybody I talk to. There's not anybody out there that says anything awkward about it or different about it, because it is such a great podcast. So right before you have Freaks in the Basement, you have Denise Harris with Hollywood Review, which is really starting to build up. She's been working on that podcast for a while, so make sure you check her out. Hollywood Review. She's been building it up. She's been on that. She's sticking to her guns on that one. I could be wrong. I think it's Encounters, because I know they're doing Ecto. But Hollywood Review is Friday, because she's doing Encounters on Saturday night before the jam. It worked out kind of good. It was my birthday weekend, and the Flat Earth Convention was here, so Denise and Michelle went on late Friday or Saturday night, so it worked out perfect. Thank you guys for doing that. That was awesome. It gave me the night off. So Friday, like I said, you got Hollywood Review with Denise Harris. Awesome podcast. You got Chris Stevens Friday with the Freaks in the Basement. Make sure you check that out. Saturday, you have Ecto. That's kind of earlier with Michelle Auger. And she has like a 30-minute run on her shows. She doubled up with Denise. It's just pretty cool, but I like when they do it separate, because it's only like a 30-minute show, and I could click into it real quick, listen to the show, and then I could catch Encounters is like the number one show out right now on KBLP. You know, like, I'm not saying that it's like the top show to watch, so I would recommend that for everybody who is into our podcast. And then, of course, you got the Jam Saturday night, which we're still working on a replacement. I'm trying to get my vacation going, and things are still up in the air on it. So, for right now, stick to listening to me, the Jam, overnight on Saturdays, and party with me all night long as we go. Sundays, I think AHS just ended. I think it was the season finale, as far as I know, as far as I understand. I will get back to you. I'm giving you the best update schedule as I can, like I said, because it's a holiday and there's some schedule changes, and after the new year there's going to be a few more little small changes, not major changes, but a couple small changes. So where was I at? I think if she doesn't do DW, or if she doesn't do AHS Sunday, I think she does DWD. Yeah, she does DWD on Sunday if she does not do AHS. So I got to look into that and ask her how she's doing on that. Mondays, we have sports, and we have Planet B.O.B. with Michelle Auger and Denise Harris, so make sure you check out. Hopefully I did mention that on Saturdays, Ecto, ECTO, I hope I spelled it right, is Michelle Auger. She's awesome at it, so make sure, like I said, it's only like 30 minutes long, so really check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And then every other Monday is Planet B.O.B., so make sure you tune in with that, with Denise Harris and Michelle Auger. And like I said, you'll really enjoy it. It's about prepping. It's about bug out bags. If you don't know the concept or the ideas, so it's something you really want to clue into, because they teach you a lot. Even I've learned a lot, and I've been a prepper for some years now. I study prep, and I work on prep, and I think about different ideas, so that's Mondays. And then, like I said, sports is Monday. The last couple of weeks we had to go on Tuesday because we had some schedule problems, so that's why, like tonight, I'm on tonight, Tuesday. Wednesdays, So we're gonna get a little off right here. Wednesdays was The Walking Dead season. I think is over on The Walking Dead too. So we got to figure out that we're trying to get that situated. Also, this Thursday, don't worry about anything. Because it's Thanksgiving. If some of the podcasters want to still go on, that's fine. So tune in if you can. If nobody goes on, I might go on and do just a separate jam, just to hang out and party with everybody. Because I'm gonna be spending it. I'm gonna actually go do something. This I don't celebrate holidays, but I'm gonna go do something. So I know it's kind of weird, guys. I'm going to be with my family, of course. Little Sergeant Liam Barajas, Clarissa, Jordan. They're going to be cooking dinner, so I'm going to go ahead and spend time with them this holiday. And hopefully, I think my youngest son's going to be there, and hopefully my daughter and her boyfriend, because my youngest son's girlfriend's not going to go as far as I know. So Friday takes us back to Freaks with Chris Stevens. Awesome podcast. You got to check it out. One of the top podcasts. One thing I didn't forgot was a WTF. What the fudge? I call it what the fudge. She's kind of it comes on about 5:00 Monday through Friday. Check it out. She had the Stan Lee one this week. It's a sad one because R.I.P. to Stan Lee, but it's a really cool podcast, and I would check it out. But let me get into the sports, guys. The Denver Broncos, and they got a victory finally. They finally pulled it together. Got a quick victory, guys, and I'm very excited about that. I'm very. It's I just, even at the end, it didn't seem. I don't think the Chargers are a very good team, and they got a better record than the Broncos. And everybody's picking them. Their defense isn't very good. Their run game's not very good. That Gordon's not very good. The only thing they have is they still got a veteran. They got a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Yeah, nobody likes him, but he's a good quarterback. But I'm gonna go into the scores real quick, and then I'll talk just a little bit about the Broncos. I'll do some picks for you guys and do some shout outs, and we'll get out of here. I was just going to do a quick broadcast. I'm already at a half hour with you. Every time I get on here, I party with you guys for when I do these sports podcasts. I think me and Denise, we did our podcast a couple weeks ago. We were like, yeah, let's just go on for like a half hour. We were on for like 3 hours, 2.5 hours or something like that. Something crazy, something off the wall, something crazy. It's so cool to podcast with Denise because you just don't stop. You just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. But, so real quick here, guys. We're going to go, the first game, hold on. So, season 11... Our week 11 of 16 games. Broncos are 4-6. Obviously, everybody knows that. The Seahawks beat the Packers 27-24. I don't know why you can hear the. That's weird. I was hearing the commercial in the background. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Okay, so week 11, Seahawks beat the Packers 27-24. That's an oddball one because the Packers, I still feel like, are a pretty strong, decent team. This one's a shocking. The Colts are starting to build up because people were really downgrading them at the beginning of the year, 38-10 over the Colts. So that was a pretty close game, or a blowout game, actually. The Giants over the Buccaneers 38-35. So that was the close. I was saying close game. The Steelers, Jaguars, and the Broncos have the Steelers coming up this week. And like I said, the Broncos are only 2 games out of that wild card slot. So I look ahead at the schedule. The Broncos it's favorable. You know, the Broncos could sneak in with that wild card, and like they always say, all you got to do is get in, and any oddball weird thing can happen with the NFL nowadays. I wanted to say something, but I'll hold that in for a different podcast. So the Steelers beat the Jaguars 20-16. Steelers are still pretty strong, even though they don't got Le'Veon Bell. They still don't got him. Then we get over to the Lions and the Panthers. Shocking here. The Lions beat the Panthers 20-19. So the Lions are coming around. I think that's their third or fourth win. I might have to check that out. This next game is the Cowboys been hurting me because, like I said, everybody knows I've been picking those guys for 3 or 4 years now, and they haven't done nothing for me. And I think I picked them in the picks last week. I picked the Falcons, and the Cowboys won 22-19. Hopefully, I picked the Cowboys. I think I did. I don't think I ever go against them unless it's a team. It's, I don't know, oddball stuff. Your next one was your Ravens and your Bengals. See, those two right there, just to look ahead a little bit, we need the Ravens to lose because they hold the tiebreaker in the wild card over the Broncos because they barely beat. There was another team that barely beat us. We've only gotten blown out one game out of the losses that we have. We have 6 losses and 5 games could have been won, and the Jets, the worst team out of all of them, blew us out. And the top teams, the Broncos, were in the game with all of them. So that's something to look at. And the Texans, of course, everybody knows last week that the Texans beat the Broncos. McManus missed a field goal with 3 seconds left in the game. If they would have, right now the Broncos would be 5-5 if McManus would have hit that field goal at the end to finish out that game. But you know, that's the way it goes. The crazy thing is 33 days to the day, Alex Smith gets his leg busted by J.J. Watt. Well, it wasn't really by J.J. Watt. It was an awkward fall. His leg got whipped around and it was broken. And 33 years before that, Lawrence Taylor came around and broke Joe Theismann's leg. So it's pretty, I don't think it's a coincidence anymore. The stuff that's going on in the NFL now, and I was going to talk to you guys about that in a little bit here. The way they're trying to make the leagues up, but the bad injuries that are happening are not really physically like devastating hits or anything. They're just oddball turn the wrong way hit. They're not anything that's like severely crazy or anything like that. You know, so it's pretty crazy. If I sound a little tired, I am a little tired. I apologize, but I'm still on the microphone with you guys. Denise, go ahead. I got the line open, ready for you to call in if you still want to call in. I know. Last night we were ready to go on. I was ready to go on, but she was like, I was just sleeping. I was like, oh shoot, because we had waited for, I don't know, the scheduling or something. Something was going on. So here's some. There's some stuff I'm going to get into in a second. So the Raiders beat the Cardinals 23-21. The Raiders, they don't want to win a game. So the Cardinals don't want to win a game either. The Raiders want the number 1 seed. That way they already have in mind who they want to pick up. And so they want to lose basically every game. And there's people out there still thinking the Raiders are trying to win. The Raiders do not want to win at all. They did not want to win yesterday against the Cardinals 23-21. So that was, I wanted to go back in. I know the Rams won last night against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to get into that in a second. But the Cardinals actually were in the game against the Rams. I was looking at that and I was pretty shocked because the Broncos put it on the Cardinals, and the Broncos beat the Cardinals when they were playing a little better. So it's pretty crazy. So everybody knows the Broncos beat the Chargers 23-22. McManus field goal at the end, and it should have been a tied game. Case Keenum ran it in. His knees did not touch. His elbows did not touch. The ball crossed the goal line. They did not do a review. They made up a story right away saying, the coach has to call it on that. I think it's just full of baloney stuff. The calls in the last part of that game were so one-sided. It was incredible. It was crazy. Here's a great one. The next one is, shout out Denise on this one. 48-7. The Saints over the Eagles. The Eagles are balling. The Eagles are the Super Bowl champs, and the Saints just blew them away. I talked about it last week, or last time we did the podcast. Drew Brees, he's looking like he's in his 20s. He's in his 40s already, and he's looking like he's in his 20s when he's out there balling out of control. And I was thinking about it today. I was just sitting there, and I'm like, they beat him 48-7. You got to really start talking about Drew Brees in the MVP race. You have to. There's just no way. There's no way around that one. You have to bring him up in the MVP race, and I'm behind him on that one. I'm behind him on that one because we're the same age basically. Everybody knows it was my birthday last week, and I'm in the 40 club, and Drew Brees is in the 40 club, so I got to represent for them 40-year-old quarterbacks. That's the only thing I can say good about Tom Brady is he's a 41-year-old quarterback. That's the only thing good. I won't say nothing else. So don't get mad at me, Bronco fans. So I'm going to get over to the Vikings-Bears. The Bears beat the Vikings 25-20. And I gotta say, the Bears they got Travinsky, they got the quarterback, they went after him, they moved up, they got a good defense, they got a solid team. These guys better get in the playoffs and go far. I don't expect them to get in the Super Bowl because you got Philadelphia and I think it's gonna boil down to Philadelphia and the Saints right now. But even though that score is like that, 48-7, sometimes you're just gonna have those off games. But the Vikings and the Bears, the Bears could be that other team that starts moving up and starts putting it on teams. So we'll see what happens there. Monday Night Football last night was a wild west. 105 total points scored. 54-51. The Rams beat the Chiefs. The reason I wanted to talk about this game is because the Rams have no defensive at all. The Chiefs have no defensive at all. And as far as I can't get too far ahead, but I'll get us back into the playoffs. If the Broncos and the Rams play again, or not the Broncos and the Rams, the Broncos and the Chiefs play again, if the Broncos defense, I'm getting messages, and sorry guys, I start getting messages and people hitting me up and stuff while I'm on the air. Sorry about that. If the Broncos defense could hold it down, why is everybody asking about her? What is going on with her? Guys, I'm gonna, after we get off the phone, I'm gonna call Lolita. I'll let everybody know I've already gotten like 8 messages in the last 2 minutes asking what's going on with her. I don't know. I'm gonna check. I know everything was fine earlier when I talked with them, so everything should still be fine. Maybe she's, I don't know, She's a young teenager. Let me finish this out though. So 54-51. Neither one of these teams have a defense. The Broncos have a defense. Okay, the problem is, could the Broncos score enough to play? Because you got to think about it this way: if the Broncos get a chance to get into the playoffs, they would have to play the Chiefs first. Okay, if they beat them up and they put some points up, the Broncos win the game. This year, because Patrick Mahomes is still young, he's only a second-year player. Everybody, even the mainstream announcers, they keep saying the rookie Patrick Mahomes. No, he's not a rookie. He's just. We'll get into that later. Anyway, and then the Rams just barely beat the Broncos too. So it's the same with those two teams. The same situation. If the Rams squeak into the Super Bowl for some odd reason, just because they could put up more points than everybody in the league, then I thought is there a game missing on this? I thought I can't remember the Cleveland game. I was thinking about for a second there. I don't know. I'll just leave that alone right now. But yeah, so both teams, I think the Broncos defensively are stronger than both teams, and if they could put them up in there, if the Broncos could squeak into the playoffs and they end up somehow playing the Chiefs, the Broncos could go ahead and pull an upset on the Chiefs. If the Broncos pull an upset on the Chiefs, because everybody's picking the Chiefs right now to go to the Super Bowl. Problem is, Patrick Mahomes, I just don't think he's ready yet. But the Chiefs are going to win a couple Super Bowls in the next 5 years. I'm just going to be honest with everybody. I'm not a Chiefs fan, a Chefs fan. But Patrick Mahomes is a dang good quarterback. I'll tell you that right now. He could ball out of control. So I'm gonna go into a real quick, a little bit of musical stuff for you real quick. I'm gonna take me a real quick breather, grab me some more water real quick. When I come back, I'm gonna talk about the way the league's set up with these new rules now, especially the reason why I wanted to talk about it right after the Rams and the Chefs. That way, you kind of understand what I mean, and then I'm gonna recap the Broncos game a little bit. I'm still not real excited about. Usually, I recap the whole game. I go play by play. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna give you just the top highlights and then work from there. The Broncos got a long way to go. You know, like I said, they're only 2 games out of the wild card. If they could just get into the wild card, if they lose the first round, I'm gonna be happy because they at least stepped up and kept going a little bit. So let me just get into this real quick, and I'll be right back with you guys. I really appreciate it, guys. I gotta make a real quick. I really got all kinds of messages going on right now, and I have no clue what these messages are about. So I just gotta check them real quick, make sure everything's okay. I know everything's okay, so I'm gonna check them out, and I will get back with you in just a second, guys. Have fun listening to this good music.
smoke when we don't come. We steady rolling slow and something classic just to show off. Ooh, when it's cold like Olaf. All you other rappers act hard, but we know you so soft. When you try to get some sleep and you doze off, we hit the streets and we go mob. You can see the flames coming from the exhaust, bringing something different to the game. We under the city lights and we switching in the lanes. You're still on your kitty bike, man, you're such a lame. You remain the same while we go against the grain. That's where we increase the speed limit. Mobbing in that horsepower, someone like seed. That's it, man, you're such a gimmick. And me, you try to mimic. While I'm rocking mighty town pitted, I'm so ambitious. Why won't I put the key in the ignition? Rolling over the competition with my driven vision. Got full control of my path, I'm looking gripping. This is an addiction. Why you can't pass emissions? Cause you stay in the same position by blowing the transmission with the missing in your shifting. The way I make the competition disappear, I should be a magician. Going against I-Dog and man, which chopper was a bad decision.
KBLP LLC. Check us out on iHeart, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, with the best podcasters in the business. Denise Harris, Chris Stevens, Michelle Auger, Ike Diaz, Desiree Pickett, Anissa Nicole, Cecilia Flores, Lolita Diaz. Sponsored by TBs303.com. We are also looking for new podcasters. Inbox any of our podcasters or me, Ike Diaz, directly on Facebook, and someone will get back with you ASAP. KBLP LLC. Check us out on iHeart, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, with the best podcasters in the business. Denise Harris, Chris Stevens, Michelle Auger, Ike Diaz, Desiree Pickett, Anissa Nicole, Cecilia Flores, Lolita Diaz. Sponsored by TBs303.com. We are also looking for new podcasters. Inbox any of our podcasters or me, Ike Diaz, directly on Facebook, and someone will get back with you ASAP.
You're listening to The Jam with Ike Dog.
Make sure you check me out on The Jam Saturday night, every Saturday with Ike Diaz right now, till I get the schedule figured out. And then I'll be off for a couple weeks so I can enjoy some free time, which would be awesome. But anyway, The Jam is live with all the old school. Some weeks I do old school rap. Some weeks I do old school 70s, 80s R&B, and some weeks I do old school, a little bit of like classic rock stuff. So it's pretty cool. I switch off. Some nights I'll go the whole night and do everything. Like I'll go 3 hours of old school old school R&B. Then I'll go an hour of rock. Then I'll go an hour of hip hop. It just depends on how I'm feeling the night. So, I tried to do the whole 5 hours. It just depends on my scheduling, because I like to do the whole 5 hours, but sometimes I can only do 2, 3 to 4 hours. But it's still a great time. It's still a fun time. So real quick, before I talk about the Broncos, which there really wasn't a lot to talk about. I'm happy the Broncos won. They finally got a victory. Puts us at 4-6 with 6 games left to go. 2 games back from the wild card. So anything's possible from here. So it's up to the Broncos now to step up and do what they can. Hopefully they can get into the playoffs. And like I said, if they can get a wild card, getting into the playoffs, anything could happen. I'm already looking over the playoff situation. So I'm going over the updates by the next week, or even maybe the week after. I'll be giving some updates, some predictions on that there. So the real quick thing I wanted to get into was all these rule changes. Yeah, they're meant to help the quarterback a lot. It's a quarterback-driven league, of course. There's one thing I announced at the beginning of the year. I announced before the season started, when they drafted him, the quarterback Jackson from Baltimore. I said that he would be replacing Joe Flacco. I just don't think that Joe Flacco fits in the Baltimore Ravens system. You know he does fit in the Broncos system, though. So that was one of the moves I thought they'd make. I really don't like Joe Flacco, but he fits in our system better than he does in the Ravens system. And the quarterback they got, he actually really fits in the Ravens system, the system that they want to run. So I wish the Broncos could have made a move on a big time quarterback before the trade deadline. Like I said, the thing is they're making a quarterback driven league, and they're making it so bad that it's basically flag football. If you watch the Rams Chiefs game last night, I'm bringing them up because it was basically flag football. They ran up and down the field. Yeah, they had some 2 or 3 defensive touchdowns or something from both teams. Excuse me, sorry, I'm drinking some water. There were some touchdowns, but if you look at it, and they didn't say it in this game, but you hear it in a lot of games. It couldn't be more scripted. The game couldn't be more scripted. Yesterday's game couldn't be more scripted. Everything was played to a script, to a T, almost, on that the Rams Chiefs game. It really was. They didn't play. There's no defense that was played, except for the turnovers that led to some touchdowns. That's why I say Patrick Mahomes, if he does get into the playoffs and he ends up playing a team like the Broncos could actually upset them, because they're going to have a way better record, and the Broncos would be a wild card. And I think the Broncos could upset him because he's just he's not a veteran yet. He still has a lot to learn. And I noticed that in a lot of the games. And if you look at it, the Rams and the Chiefs, who both people are saying are Super Bowl contenders, they're just barely winning games, and they don't have neither team has a defense. So that's the point I wanted to bring up real quick again, is that they're making the league so soft. It seems like it seems like I can get out there and play flag football with these guys. You know what I mean? No, I know these guys are beasts, and they'll be knocking me around, but as far as the game goes, if I was in their shape and running the plays and doing the things that I needed to do, I'd be fine. I don't think that anything would actually slow me down in those situations. So it's like it's just the way I see it. I wish they could change the rules. That's why I say I always bring up the thing. Everybody says Tom Brady. Everybody says Tom Brady, he's the best of all time. He's not the best of all time. He could never have played in the John Elway era. He would have never laughed. He never laughed. In the 80s, 90s, he would have never made it. Tom Brady would have never made it. And laughed. It's cracking me up. He would have never made it in that era. I say that. I stand behind that. And Tom Brady wouldn't have the Super Bowls that he has. So, John Elway got lucky at the end of his career getting Terrell Davis and bulking up that defense. And still, we all could sit here and to the choir, or however you want to say it, and more players should be in the... More players should be Oh, I just got a message. More players should be. Sorry about that, guys. I was looking at a couple messages. Yeah, more players should be thinking about that. You know what I mean? Like, there is a lot more. There is a lot more. There is a lot more skill level stuff going on. But as far as the the level of play, I'm just saying the quarterbacks. I really can't get into the other positions right now. I'm just saying the quarterbacks right now, because I just know the play. John Elway was a beast, you know. John Elway really went out there and he did his job, you know. He really went out there and he played like a man. I'll tell you that. He played like the guy you want to see, you know what I mean? So let me get over to the Broncos. It's just real quick. Just real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. I'll do the scores and we'll get out of here, guys, because I only wanted to go on for like 30 minutes and it's already been a while. Shout out to Zach Morrison. He's hitting me up right now on my messenger. Give him a shout out real quick. I was waiting for him. Oh, he's calling in right now. Hold on just a second. Let me get him on the let me get him online with us right now. Hold on just a second. Zach, what's going on, man? Hello? Are you on?
I'm here. What are you doing?
Oh, I thought it was Zach. I thought it was Zach calling in. I'm gonna call. I'm live on the air right now. You have the 323 number that Zach has.
Listen.
What's up?
Listen.
What's up?
It's nice to hear your voice. I'm glad you're all right.
Oh, that's cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking. And
right.
I'm hoping you have a good holiday. I'm gonna call you right after I get done with the podcast. I'm doing the sports podcast right now, and I thought you were Zach. And when you were saying something, I was like, "What the heck? What are you talking about?" So
I was trying to send you a picture earlier, and I kind of panicked because I didn't see you on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, they took my Facebook away because Hotmail Hotmail's gone, and I can't find the password. So my Facebook is completely gone. So all I have is the Ike League right now, and I share that with other people. So
I know. As
soon as Lolita gets home, I'm gonna build a new Facebook. What's up?
I'm just glad you're all right. That's it. Okay.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you calling in live on the Ike Diaz Sports Show.
Get out of here! Don't put me on live.
You're on live right now. I thought you were Zach calling me. He has his number 323. You called in. You called in. You're the one that called in right now. So I'm like, I had to get you in. I had to get you on because I'm live right now. But Ophelia, we will talk later. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up. I gotta do the picks real quick, and just click. I sent you the link, so just go on the link and you can listen to me. Okay.
Listen, for all your listeners out there, you just have like the biggest love in LA County. All right.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It is what it is.
Shout out to LA County. That's where Zach's from. He's from LA. He's from I can't remember what part of LA. He's right by Los Angeles.
Man, he's probably hop, skip, and the jump from me.
Yeah, he drives by the beach all the time because I do my lake videos and he gets to do the ocean videos. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do the ocean videos. That'd be so cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let you go. I gotta finish up right now, and then I got other people texting me and about scores and stuff for games. So, we'll talk more. Okay.
Alrighty. Say hi to my beautiful baby girl, Lolita.
Yeah, I will. As soon as she gets her blood home.
Right.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. I thought it was the Zach. He co-hosts sports with us, and he also does the Jam with me, and he is doing a new podcast coming up. So I thought that was him right now. He works during the week, so I know it's kind of hard, the late stuff. I know on the weekend he's okay. It's just the weekday stuff that it's late. Like me, I'm not a sleeper, so it don't really bother me. So I was gonna talk to you about the Broncos real quick. I don't have a lot to say about the Broncos. They did good. They won. The fourth quarter was pretty awesome. I was at a point where I was just like, just let the Broncos win. You know, they're pretty much winning this game. Just give them the game. You know what I mean? And I just, like I said, I don't think the Chargers are very good. And everybody at the beginning of the season picked the Chargers. Nobody saw Kansas City coming. I saw Kansas coming from a mile away. That Patrick Mahomes, I even talked with my son, and before he was even drafted there, I was like, man, the Broncos needed to move up to get him. So with the oddball 33-yard field goal as time expired, Phillip Lindsay had 11 carries for 79 yards. He has to be closing in on at least 700-800 yards already. I'm gonna have to look that up as soon as we get done right now. So 11 carries for 79 yards, and Sutton had 3 receptions for 78 yards. I usually have the running backs, the receivers, all that together. Phillip Rivers, he's a great quarterback, even though he's a crybaby. He threw for 401 yards. The 15-year veteran completed 28 of 43 passes. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent for another older quarterback. I love these veterans. You know what I mean? He also became the 6th quarterback in league history to throw at least 2 touchdowns. Put him back in the game, and he had like a little 4 or 5 yard run. They had him mic'd up, and he was like, "Oh, these guys are easy." And the next play, I don't know if everybody remembers Danny Trevathan. Danny Trevathan just went in there and lit him up, and he did not go back in the game the rest of the fourth quarter. There was like a whole quarter, and he did not go back in the game. So ever since that, I lost any kind of respect that I could have had for him as a running back. So Keenan Allen had 9 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown for the Chargers. Boo. The third-year lineman did not start, but was in the pass rush. He was in pass rushing situations. So that's why I'm not gonna speak too much on it. The Broncos pulled it out by 1 point. I remember when I used to do every my podcast every Monday, right after Monday Night Football, and I would recap every play of the game. I would have so much fun, and I would get it done in 45 minutes too. It was pretty awesome. I used to have a great time. So besides that, there was really nothing that exciting. I know our old tight end, which I didn't want to get Virgil Green, plays for them now. I didn't want to get rid of him. Anthony Lynn, not very many people mentioned that he's the coach for San Diego, wants 2 Super Bowls with him, and I'm pretty sure that was number 56. I always like to bring up is that Andy Janovich, I guess let me see what I thought he had scored. Yeah, he caught a 12-yard pass. I'm gonna have to go rewatch that part. So that's about it, guys. There's like I said, the fourth quarter was good. The first, second, third, I was really not. It was really not like everything wasn't really going crazy. You know what I mean? They were just balling. But yeah, let's give it. Let's end it there. Broncos did good. They go on. We're happy. I'm gonna get into the scores real quick so I can get done. I'm already past the hour. I didn't want to go over an hour if I did go on tonight. Come on. So the Bears, the Lions, Tigers, and Bears. That's on Thursday Night Football, 10:30 a.m. That's the Thanksgiving football. The Lions are on every year. I love when the Broncos play on Thanksgiving. That used to be my favorite. Me and my wife used to talk about that all the time. I'm gonna go with the Bears, even though the Lions they're putting up numbers right now. You know, the Lions are looking good right now, but the Bears are looking like they're gonna be in the playoffs. So I got to go with the Bears on this one.
On location.
The Redskins and the Cowboys, with them losing Alex Smith, who I think is a great season quarterback. I know you guys have heard me say this for years. He's an awesome regular season quarterback. He just cannot win in the playoffs. Something happens in the playoffs, and he just can't get the job done. And, you know, I feel bad for him. He got his leg broken 33 years to the day, Joe Theismann. So there's something a little corrupt right there. Like I was talking about the games being scripted. There's some weird stuff going on. But until it could be proven, there's nothing that anybody could really do about it. But the Redskins, Cowboys, I'm going to go with the Cowboys because they got Zeke and they got Dak, and the Redskins don't have Alex Smith now. The Falcons and the Saints just got beat by 3 points, and the Saints just put it on a team. So I'm going to go with the Saints. So there's 3 games this Thursday. You got the 10:30 a.m. game, 2:30 p.m. game, and then the 6:20 game. So there's a lot of football to be played this Thursday. And then the Giants and the Eagles on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Cause the Giants, they're too up and down. There's too many injuries. There's too much inconsistency. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Eagles on it. The Jaguars and the Bills. Oh, I gotta go with the Jags. Normally I wouldn't even pick them, and I was picking the Bills when they had the Wyoming quarterback playing. I think he was playing for them, yeah. And I think they're like down to their 4th, 5th string quarterback already. I did it again. I keep skipping the way I keep messing up because I keep skipping off the screen. The screen that I was on, I was skipping off it. I'm like, what the heck? Bills. Okay, so let's get into this. The Seahawks and the Panthers. This is a good game right here. The Seahawks beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Hey, you got to remember, I'm a Bronco fan. I try to be leveled out, you know what I mean, when I'm on the air. The Seahawks and the Panthers. Seahawks put it on the Broncos. The Panthers took a beating. You know, I've been hearing a lot of stuff. Like there's so much stuff going around about the Panthers Bronco game. If you sit there and I watched play by play, I've watched this game several times. The Broncos kind of manhandled them. You know, it was close for a while, and then they just opened it up on them, and they just kind of manhandled them. And it was even when it was close, you could tell, you could feel the Broncos' presence of just the strength of them of controlling the game, and that's where I think a lot of people go wrong when they when all these things come up about it. Things not being right with that game. I got to look a little more into it. I don't know. It's crazy that people even bring it up. So the Ravens. I would actually like to see. I never picked the Raiders. I never will. I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens, but I would actually like to see the Raiders beat the Ravens because the Ravens, like I said earlier, they own that tiebreaker. See, I'm already ahead of you guys, 2 or 3 steps ahead. They own that tiebreaker for that wild card because it's going to come down to them. I had it. It's going to come down to about 4 teams, and there's 2 teams that have that tiebreaker with the Broncos. And as long as the Broncos have a better record than them, the Broncos will get in with that wild card pick. And I think the Broncos are going to get in with that wild card pick as long as they stay consistent and Case Keenum can get the ball down the field because he's not a deep ball passer. That's the thing. And, you know, with this Sutton coming along, I think, you know, with these dink and dunks with Sutton and Emmanuel Sanders, they could do good with it. They could do good with that. You got the 49ers, Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to win. The 49ers, I'm just waiting for Shanahan to get the release so he can come over and be the Broncos coach next year, guys. I'm just be honest with everybody. The Bengals, Browns, I have no clue what's going on with the Browns right now. So I got to go with the Bengals on this one. This one's... I have to look to see who's even the coach of the Browns right now because I know Hugh Doug or I know I was calling him somebody else. He got fired. Patriots, Jets, got to go. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say the Patriots right now, but normally I don't pick against them. Normally I don't pick the Patriots at all, but the Cardinals, Chargers. I hope the Cardinals win it. Like I said, the Broncos are only 2.5 games back from the Chargers. So we're 2.5 games back because they won yesterday. So the Chargers have, instead of having a 3-game lead on us, they have a 2.5 game lead on us since the Broncos won. So if the Broncos could pull that back in and end up with a better record than the Chargers, the Broncos will get that wild card. But they have to have a better record than them. So we'll see what happens. That's why. So the Cardinals have to. If the Cardinals could do some miracles right there, it'll be awesome. And like I said, the Chargers ain't gonna that good. People are gonna see here after this week, the Broncos kind of exposed them, and people are gonna see they're gonna kind of fall apart. And there I go. It sounds like I'm being biased, but I've said this for a long time. So we got the big game, the Steelers Broncos this weekend. Everybody knows I'm going with the Broncos. This is gonna be a 14-7 game. The Broncos are going to win by a touchdown, 14-7. This is not going to be a lot of scoring in this game. These teams always match up good, and I don't really ever remember there being a high score. So that's the only score I'm picking. I'm saying 14 Broncos, the Steelers 7, and I think that the Broncos win this, and they need this game. Actually, they really need this game, guys. The Colts, Dolphins. I think the Colts will beat them. Vikings, Packers. Them guys are like a roller coaster. So, but I'm gonna pick the Packers in that one. Titans, Texans. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I don't think the Titans are very good, and that's on Monday Night Football. And we should have beat the Texans last week. Our record should be 5-5. There's no way that kick should have. But I do want to look into. We played Pittsburgh. You never want to look ahead, but we played Pittsburgh this weekend, the 2:00 game, which I feel really confident about. The next week they go to Cincinnati, and they play at 11 a.m. I don't like the East Coast morning games for the Broncos. They just never they're just never what we need them to be. You know what I mean? So. But hey guys, I appreciate it. I thank you for tuning in to Ideas. Denise Harris, shout out to Denise Harris. Thank you for always doing all the podcasts. I know tonight was a spur of the moment, and I waited. So finally, I just went ahead and said I'm just gonna go on. So we'll catch you next week. Denise probably be on by herself Monday next week, or if I can make it, I'll be on Monday with her. And if I have a problem with my Monday schedule, and she does, then we'll end up on Tuesday. We're just having some mixed communications on Mondays and Tuesdays because of the holidays and work and everything, the schedule. So, but we can get it all. It's going to be all worked out because Denise works really hard and she really tries to get her schedule. And I'm the one that has the hard time. I'm the one that needs to step up my game as far as getting on the air and being here and being available for everybody when needed. Make sure to keep sending me the messages. Make sure to keep sending me the links. I'm really appreciative. I watch all the links that you guys send me. I get a lot of links every week to games. I get a lot of game footage. I get a lot of comments. Just keep sending it to me, guys. I wish you could post it in the chat. I know the links. I know you post them in my messenger because it's easier for me to talk with me. But I'm gonna close it down for the evening. Go Broncos! Let's get a victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know if Denise was here right now, she would be up and roaring right now because she is not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening.
KBLP LLC. Check us out on iHeart, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, with the best podcasters in the business. Denise Harris, Chris Stevens, Michelle Auger, Ike Diaz, Desiree Pickett, Anissa Nicole, Cecilia Flores, Lolita Diaz. Sponsored by TBs303.com. We are also looking for new podcasters. Inbox any of our podcasters or me, Ike Diaz, directly on Facebook, and someone will get back with you ASAP.